saying no one has to know.
Well, you don't want to include 20 minutes of MCU conversation so everybody can throw their 2 cents in?
Well, I figure it'll be on Patreon. So.
Don't tell them.
Our lives
No
are
one has
recorded.
opinions about MCU.
Yeah.
No.
Did you see that they're rebooting the DCEU and now everyone like the thing I saw was like, get ready, Marvel. It's like stop.
That's
Just
embarrassing. That's like when every new website was called the Google Killer. Do you remember
yes,
that?
and the Halo Killer, every shooter that would come
every
out.
single one, or the World of Warcraft Killer if it was
Yep.
an MMO.
Just focus.
Yep.
You give me one good Superman movie and then we'll talk. Don't film everything through a gray filter and we'll chat about it.
It's usually a brown filter.
Ugh.
Or a blue one if they're feeling like sassy.
It's never blue.
Oh, that's when he's in the city.
Yeah, it's like a dark blue. It's not like a nice blue.
That's when he's sad and not depressed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
That's
big.
when he kills Zod, because that's completely in character.
Good thing you don't have to cut off 20 minutes of Marvel and DC conversation now, Jason.
Do you want to start another?
No.
Another recording?
I do want to start another DCEU. I do want to start that. So let's.
Well, they're gonna.
If I can pretend Man of Steel
Watch
didn't
out,
exist or that
Marvel.
mustache, I'm good.
Oh my god.
I just want
You have the
okay.
weirdest
Before we
lips.
get started, I just want one good Superman thing before I die. In my generation, just one good Superman thing. One.
I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
No, it can't. Just one.
Jason, I want it too, but it's not gonna happen.
I want a Rockstar game, a good movie, something, anything. I've watched him be rebooted 2 or 3 times.
Not all of the cartoon movies. Those are good.
They're fine.
There's that one with
Just
the
watch
British dude.
Smallville.
Oh. Why are you hurting him?
Why do you hate me, Susan?
A lot of people like Smallville.
Well, a lot of people are wrong.
Okay. I watched 6 episodes and got bored, so.
That's try 11 years. Just waiting for him to put on the fucking suit. That's all I wanted. Anyway, sorry.
I stuck it out until season 7 when his cousin showed up. And
How
then he
did
tried
either
to
of you
end
do
his
that?
cousin.
That was one that I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go back and like watch the history of this show, and I watched 6 episodes, and I was like, you know what, Mystery Science Theater, that one sounds better. And then I went back and watched all of those and was entertained.
Yeah, that's good.
Way better choice. Way better choice.
So we're making a book.
Let's make a book. So my thought is let's roll through the region stuff we've been working on, because that way if we have to get into talking about art stuff later, then Susan and Jasper, you guys can take off if you want, or you're welcome to hang if you want. But let's get the stuff we're all involved with done first. So first things first, I don't think I'm going to add any new regions to next week's production calendar.
That's valid. That's fair.
I
There's
feel
a-
like once Val's able to hop on, most of the stuff is just gonna.
Yeah. A lot
mean-
of it's already ready for Jasper, and then a bunch is ready for copyright. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, 10,000 Horns is 98% done. The Divide is, like, if I'm just assigning numbers, like 85% done. White Wolf Valley's not far behind it. Morning Shore is pretty close. Like, we're doing pretty good. It's just we've got a lot on the plate. So I'd
Yeah.
like to see some things get 100% completed before we start adding more.
Yeah, because this group message I keep making is just gonna
It's
grow
big.
again.
It
Yeah.
one,
I
two full
felt really
scrolls of the
bad
mouse
last
wheel.
night, but Jason woke up early to work, and I was like, I need to post this for him. Sorry, guys, tag everyone.
I was
Nice.
working on Titan Shard all day yesterday, figuring out mapping software and shit. And then I looked at the list, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I didn't work at all today. So I woke up early and just started plugging away.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel honestly for how aggressive that schedule was, I feel pretty good about everything we've been able to get done in the last 2 weeks.
And that's with Valerie pretty much out of commission.
Yeah, Val's been out of commission. So, like, I mean, here's the thing: in order to get this to the printer when we want to get it to the printer, I kind of feel like we're gonna have to go this wild for the next 4 months.
Dude, yeah.
We got it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Like for most of the stuff in ours, I feel like as soon as Val takes a look at it, most of ours is gonna go out. Like
Yeah,
with
I
Jeff.
think so. Yeah.
Like as soon, because I just want her to take the last look at it. 'Cause she's more technical than me. She looks for wording and all that's like stuff that like matters for consistency. So
Yeah.
There's
need
one
her.
thing we could take care of right now that I have to keep tagging both of you in. Aubrey, the clerics. You posted they should have a name. Jason said, I have never given them a name. Do you think you should have one? And then I sent it to the proofers. So, should they have a name? If we can decide that right now, we can be ready for that to go back to the proofers.
I mean,
Should they, Jason?
Here's the thing. I've always just called them the clerics, but like because it's a specific brand of clerics, like we're the Aubrey clerics. Like I'm fine with giving them
the Sun Boys and Gals.
the
Sun-
the Sun Squad.
The Sunflowers.
Oh yes, Maddie votes for that option.
But like, I can honestly sit down tomorrow and just give them a name.
Okay, you want to give them a name?
That's fine.
All right, then I will tag you in making them a
I'm
name.
all for proper nouns. Like I'm all for like I want things to feel special and stuff like that. Like I know we kind of had a thing. It's like, is it just Father White? It's like, yeah. What's his title though? It's like,
Father.
it's Father White. Like it's just, I don't know why that just.
We got a lot of questions today for Living in Theoria about the Countess, and it's like, why is she the Countess? It's like, she wanted to be.
Yeah, no one stopped her.
Some guy said, no, he's dead now.
Yeah.
So, Countess. Also, look at her.
You want to go tell her?
Yeah, so I'm fine with that. I mean, you guys know by now. Every now and then, I'll throw in if there's a word that's been used a lot in a lot of different places. I'll ask if we want to use something more specific in certain circumstances. Like the word leader gets brought up a lot, right?
It does,
Leaders.
yeah.
The leader of different cities. It's like, well, in this city, is it leader? Is it?
And for things like
you know.
orcs and stuff like that, I do want to kind of differentiate because I see that the word tribe and clan is being used interchangeably.
Yeah,
Whereas
tribe is big, clan is small.
no, reverse.
Fuck.
The clan is the amalgamation of several orc tribes.
Got it.
And I've been correcting it when I see it.
Okay, good.
So like yeah.
I wonder who got it wrong.
Yeah, so I have to my only note in the divide in White Wolf Valley is just to look back at the orc camps too. So I'll do that tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jasper, if we are able to get a complete 10,000 horns to you, how's your week looking?
That's a great question. It changes every single day. I don't know.
Okay.
But what I do want to be able to do is when I do have a complete section like 10,000 horns, I'm going to just start slamming through and see how long it takes me to be able to get it done. Basically, at this point, it's starting to waterfall into my domain.
Yeah.
That's kind of an unknown for the moment because I haven't had to be doing a bunch of stuff like you have at that speed.
Right.
I'm not worried about it. I got to get into the swing of things so that we can start planning around it.
It took us forever to get anything to you.
And your stage of the
No, that's
process
how it
is a little bit weirder timeline wise too, because it's not like on you to complete that portion except for the completion of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean, like,
That old thing.
So, like, no pressure
Yeah,
at all. The
that
yeah,
whole thing.
if I waited to the last week to do everything, okay, it could actually technically be done. Jason would have a heart attack.
Yeah, don't do
Yeah,
that.
I just
But-
I just
Don't do
watched
that
blood
thing.
pressure spike.
Also, I think your wife and
Yeah.
children might miss
But-
you.
Yeah.
My goal for
True.
kind of timeline, and which we've been mostly sticking to really well,
Yeah.
is that when you do have time, there's something there, more so than for you
That's what I need.
particularly for it to be like, okay, it's there, now you have to do it. I'd rather
Yeah.
have it be like, oh well, I've got an afternoon, what's in the bucket, and you got something to work on. So
Right.
That's exactly what I need. That helps me, and of course, it won't be me waiting till the end to do these things. As soon as those things come through in as large of chunks as I can get. So in other words, I can put in a little section here or section there. It's like starting and stopping a car. Like I need to be able to go for a while.
Yeah.
And what that means would be, hey, Anna, can you take the kids out for Saturday until 3 p.m.? Can you go do a big thing and I can have like a big chunk of the day to do it? So I need enough content to be able to work with it, and that's fine. This is how that's going to work, and that's great.
And I think that's why we didn't want to bother you until we had something substantial, like a whole region.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at least then we'll one, we can get an idea of page count, at least for the regions. And two, it would be one complete section that you can look at to get a nice blueprint for the rest of it. And we did that with the Northlands technically, but we're going back to take a look at that anyway. So
yeah. I mean, that's the thing that I need just for some insight onto how things are going for me. I need a full section like the Northlands or whatever, because we are revisiting like what is that layout a little bit. Like that was sort of put together as an example for that original teaser, but now there's going to be a lot more detail around it, and it's not just going to be thrown in there. It's like really rethinking some stuff, and to do that, I'm going to need sort of all the parts to make sure that I'm capturing all of the right types of content. Basically, if I do it piecemeal, it's going to feel piecemeal.
Yeah, the only issue with that is we're going to eventually reach a point where the art is catching up to the writing.
Yeah.
So there's going to be entire regions that are done that we don't have all the visual components for yet. So I don't know.
That's fine. As long as I have one, it means that I'll have at least a sense of what that art is going to be like and roughly what's going to be there.
Right.
In other words, I can plan for it. As long as we can, even if I can ask you, like, is 2,000 Horns, is that representative of the amount of artwork we're going to get, or is there going to be more or less? It's just going to be very organic. It's kind of the way it has to work.
Would it be beneficial to you to do similar to these lists that Bree's doing? Would it be beneficial to you when a region is done first to provide you like a checklist? Like, here's all the pieces that we have ready to go. Like,
yes,
checklist. Got it.
Because
I like checklists.
What I've been doing whenever we've gone through a couple of iterations of things, I basically take everything there is. Like, for example, the table of contents for the teaser. I take that, I put it into Evernote, I put check marks next, little boxes next to everything, and then I get rid of anything that's like a duplicate or doesn't matter. Basically, I make my own checklist. It would be helpful if you can start that checklist so that I don't miss something in the checklist I'm making. Or if nothing else, I can also help make that checklist and then vet it. But that's just more back and forth. If you can start with a checklist, then if I have any questions, I can.
Yeah. And the regions are a good place to test that out because there's more writing than visuals there. When we get into stuff like the characters, there's going to be a lot of little visuals that are going to get trickier to track. So, good.
Checklists are going to be, that's going to save a lot of time for me to get off the ground for my section of all of this. So I don't want to put more burden or heavy lifting on you, but more of that I can have, the faster I can probably get going.
And it's a little, I feel like it's a little unfair, but ever since you started doing those checklists, it's like, boy, I wish we were doing that from the start, because it just felt so easy and at a glance just to look at it. It's like boom, boom.
Well, it does a couple things because it focuses everybody on the same stuff. We're not all just like, I got work I can do today. I guess I'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like we're all kind of funneling into one thing right now. But Bray, I don't know if that's something that you want to do, or I don't mind doing it as soon as a region is 100% complete, providing that, like, tag Jasper, hey, here's 10,000 horns, here's everything that needs to be in there, it's ready for you when you're ready. You know,
I think I could do that. Yeah.
If you want to do that, okay.
Yeah.
What are we waiting for in 10,000 horns?
Literally just the last revision pass.
Okay, cool. So sweet shit.
I believe 100% proofing. Yeah, because 3 of them are already ready for Jasper. Ebony Harbor and regional tables need one last check, but it literally just needs to keep being checked until it's ready to go.
The way this pipeline's working out, it's probably going to be 2 or 3 regions that come in like in chunks.
Yes. So. I actually think that because 10,000 Horns and the Divide and Whitewood Valley, I've done my final reviews, so it just needs Val. So I feel like those are all going to come at you at once.
Yeah, I feel like Val's going to just plug in, be it Thursday or Friday or something like that, and she'll just wreck house. Like she's just
Yeah, I feel like 3 of these regions are gonna come at you at once, Jasper.
Especially now that all the proper nouns are finally solidified, because that's one of the big things that was kind of hanging us up. Was like, is the capitalized?
Is that file available? Did we end up doing that?
Yes. I want the spelling thing. It's right on the front page.
Let me see. Setting book spellings. Got it.
Yep. I went over it today. I'll go over it again just to make sure.
Okay. Just because, to diverge for just a quick second, he's fine with making those corrections to the map, but I haven't provided the corrections yet.
Awesome.
Just because last we talked about it, They weren't finalized. I didn't have a list, but now I have a list. So
and
good.
yeah, that to me, that list is finalized. Let Val take another look at it because she's the stickler.
She's the one
all right.
who knows where the
I'll hold off
go.
until Val signs off on it.
And,
that's fine.
Susan, my deepest apologies. I did not check any of that before I wrote everything today. So I have no idea where the apostrophe goes in heroes or dragons or any of the proper nouns.
It's usually just at the end.
Okay, cool. I didn't do that.
So I was arriving at a different thing I was going to say, and shut up.
Pop.
Oh,
Hey, somebody moved out across the hall from us, and they're renovating the apartment, so they've just been slamming shit around for 3 days. It's great. I forget what I was going to say. It's fine. It'll come back.
We'll come back to it.
We'll come
we have
back.
a major fire warning, and people keep setting off fireworks outside our house.
That's cool.
They might shut off our power because it's so dangerous right now.
Great.
Fires, but
Awesome.
Fireworks. Our kid turned 7, so we need to celebrate by lighting the sky on fire.
Suki loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, book.
Okay, so I was going to ask about the Northlands. Are the materials, the pieces of the Northlands, are they in the same folder as the other regions, or do they need to be moved?
I think they need to be moved.
Okay.
Or unless someone went back, because I think the Northlands was in its own thing.
It happened so long ago, I do not remember.
I don't think they've been moved. I think it was in the preview folder.
I asked a question that I could have easily just found. Yeah, it's all there. So,
awesome. Yeah, I did that. I mean, that's what I meant.
Oh, shit. Good job.
It's fine.
So,
Good job,
let's do this. Scratch what I said about not adding another region. Let's just throw the Northlands checklist in there, too. Because it's just one more round of revision.
I already wrote that down. Is revisit Northland, because there's a few things with the Northlands that I think needs to be fixed. One of the main ones is the introduction of the Northlands, and quite a few of the geography things have very specific mileage and numbers, and we have not done that with any of the other regions. I think it would be better just to remove it from the Northlands than to try to add it to all of the other regions. Personally. Keep a few if they're very important, but in general, I feel like...
Yeah, the only thing I could think of off the top of my head was I did square mileage for mountains and stuff like that. So we can, we'll take another look, because there might be stuff, because it was 7-8 months ago. We might look at it and go, oh wow, we could do this better.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is we've been hitting the region. I think we'll find some things.
Yeah. You could even do a blurb at the beginning. It takes this long to get from one end of Alara to the other, which would then let you calculate everything else.
Yeah. Well, there's also a scale for that. Yeah. There's a scale for that. Because I'd like to do a little travel chart. I think we could. We have one already.
Yeah.
Honestly, it makes the book itself is not just a record of data. It's actually the kind of thing that you want to give in terms of color for a dungeon master or whoever to be able to actually say, you arrive in this particular area. It would take 3 days to get across the thing, or you get to a mountain range and it has a sense of things. It doesn't have to be 4.232 kilometers per square. It's not about that.
And I think it's a lot like lots with old Claudius. Is adding those to the book does not add as much as one mistake would take away from the book.
I understand that.
That's my feelings.
And that's kind of where I came in like a bat out of hell, I think, because I did such precise metrics. Come at me, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
I did all this.
I was ready.
For
the Northlands. I don't want to do it 12
And it's
times.
in kilometers. I was so proud. So, I
had to figure out the metric system.
I'm a stupid American. Do you know how hard that was?
There's so many millipedes in there.
Millipedes.
Okay. All right. So yes, I'll revisit the Northlands. I'm gonna start making Jasper some checklists for things that are done. With just basically what art we have for that specific region. Something Jasper doesn't even know about is Brandon.
Yeah, so we got a dude who's doing a list of interstitial art pieces for us, so that you have just stuff to throw in when you need it.
Just some filler shit.
Yeah. He replied to my email, by the way. He's willing to do that. He's gonna take a little while to do it, which is only unfortunate because I was gonna also ask him to be the recipes guy.
Okay.
And in the timeline he gave me, it was like, well, we could probably find somebody else to do the recipes. That's fine. But he's going to do it. So
what is the timeline he gave you?
Late November to get the whole list done.
To get the list done, not to get started.
20 or 10?
10.
Wow.
Yeah, we gave him a list of 10, right? It was only 10.
Yeah, no. We talked about doing 20 though. So like.
Yeah, I mean, let's do this, and if we end up getting somebody else to do another 10, that might even be better than having him do all 20.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Do you have a list of recipes already taken care of, or do we need to?
Not the recipes. We just did like, oh, here's a campfire, here's a boot, here's a, like little things you could put in.
Interstitials,
Yeah. No, if you do find yourself with spare time though, anytime we want to get rolling on those recipes, we'll need them sooner than we think.
Also,
I've been thinking about that.
For the trivia section of the Fire Isles, I put a note that was like, Merrick should write something cute here, and that's the note. Yep. So, and then Jameson was like, maybe you should ask him.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
That's fine. No, I can do that. Okay. I saw the note about trivia.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
I wrote that like 3 weeks ago, or like 3 months ago, and I forgot I wrote it, and Jameson just highlighted it and went like, "Did you ask him yet?"
I would appreciate having a little volcano.
That's kind of
Ooh.
That's your thing. Not only is that where your character comes from, but like yeah.
That's my
I still
thing.
think I have your business card with volcanology.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, sorry.
I still get thrown off and think it's about Star Trek every time I hear that word. So like, that shows you where my head is at.
Well, I do have it in my email signature from work, so I'm like creative director, volcanologist at this place, and it brings up, it's like it's a talking point, and clients will write back like, "Are you really a volcanologist?"
No, I just throw shit in my.
Yeah, I was just.
I'm gonna start doing that, but I'm just gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm the head regional director and amateur jockey. Like I just.
That was a good pull.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. The best part is it's you as an amateur jockey.
Yeah. That poor horse.
Water polo.
That's why you're an amateur.
I'm not winning any races.
All right.
So region-wise, I feel like we're all pretty much on the same page, right? Yeah. Like there's not a whole lot else that needs to go.
I think so.
And I'm doing notes as they pop up like whack-a-mole, but I'm trying to start branching out on a couple of other things. Titan Shard Bunker was a test because those modules are going to kick my ass hard. And I've been working on Scions just to get that ball rolling because that's going to take me weeks to get that where I want it.
Fucked up notes on the thing.
Oh my god, but I'm really proud of where it's going. I'm super excited. I think this is going to be great, but I'm going to need 4 or 5 people at a certain point to jump into the table with me and break it.
Can I be Thanos again?
Go for it. Like just break the shit out of it. Just do whatever you can to make this not work before we publish it, and then I'll have to go back through and tighten up some nuts and bolts.
I will play test the shit out of whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Can I take Dagon? I killed him, so he's mine now. Right?
Yeah, that's how you do it. If you kill him, you become him.
Because you eat the soul.
Yes.
Right?
Like
the soul
Highlander?
and it becomes part of it.
There can only be one. That's the.
Was that in Highlander?
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
What just happened? Oh, that's right. Okay.
Val's not here. But yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, one other thing for regions. I made a note for this. Hang on. So a couple things. First of all, the Fire Isles and Blackrock Mountains and Serpent Isle are very small as individual regions. I wanted to propose that we, for the purpose of the book's organization, clump them into one region, kind of like we did with the Umgar Swamp and the Evergreen.
Like the islands?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I'm just thinking, because the way that we have the book formatted right now, like we've got this nice intro page to the region with the beautiful art, and it kind of like unfolds into a few pages about that region before it moves on to the next thing. But where the Fire Isles and Serpent Isle and Blackrock Islands are like a couple of paragraphs each.
Yeah.
It feels so, like I was imagining Serpent Isles.
Right.
Oop, that's it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
one of the
I'm-
reasons that got. This is hardly the time to bring it up. The reason that got so fucking repetitive was
Yeah.
because I was trying to make it into a region,
Yeah.
and it's just an island with snakes on it. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
I would
it's very
rather
similar to Drake Island.
It is.
Like,
yeah. So I would rather blend that again, just for the purposes of organizing the book. I would rather have a couple of those smaller regions, which are geographically close enough to each other, be categorized under a single header, than have
Yeah.
than treat them all as big as the Northlands and
Right.
have them be like a page
Right.
each. You know.
and then
And
I think
so-
like the region tables could still work for all three of those. We just put them all together instead of separate, because
Yeah.
they would have different region tables if we did that. Because
At this point, it's late September, and doing this and just lassoing 3 regions together that would be lacking by themselves, I think, is a good idea. My knee jerk was like, well, what if I added something to each, like a little dungeon
Oh.
type of thing or something?
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, no, I know,
No,
I know.
But
no.
no.
Even
No.
I recognize.
yeah, no, I think that's a good. Because Serpent and
Let's
Drake
make
Island
those
could
to
both
their own
just
book.
be-
No.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
if you loop them all together, then Drake Island and Serpent Island just become 2 really cool geographical locations that are fleshed out
Yeah, yeah.
versus.
Yeah,
Two
so
really
it
small
essentially is like the
regions.
Black Rock Mountains and Southern Isles or something like
Yeah.
that, and then you can kind of rope them all together that way.
And I,
the only issue is Fire Isle is known for werewolves,
yes.
and there's a lot of werewolf stuff in there. So I
Well,
don't
we're
feel
not
like
ditching it.
their tables could be.
I don't think we're ditching the tables, right?
No, I would say keep the tables with the geographic location.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So each of them on that page probably have their own tables.
Because they're islands, right?
So it would
kinda
be
makes
like-
sense that they would have their own separate table.
So if you turn the page, it's like, oh, Southern Alara, and it'd be like, oh,
Okay.
the Serpent Isle, and then you go to it's like, and here's, yeah.
I get it now. I'm there with you. I'm sorry. I was a step behind, but now I'm
No,
there.
you're fine,
Okay.
because I
You
thought
need to
that
come up with a baller name for all 3 of these now.
fucking Southern Alara. I don't care. No, I'll do that. No, but like at first I was like, are we ditching all those fucking tables I wrote? Because like I was a little like,
and that's
No.
why I
No,
immediately
no.
came in with, we can save the tables.
okay, thank you.
It doesn't make sense
like
to have
the
tables
southern-
separate.
It's like the
Yeah.
southern periphery. And
Right.
it's like
yeah.
the things that make up that region,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, or for that matter, it could be the periphery of Alara. It could be a whole region that's like all of the places, no matter which direction they're located.
Right.
Whatever.
Like how we
We
put
can
Hawaii
also-
and Alaska in a corner together. Even though they're not really
Like
friends.
little inset maps.
Yeah,
How demeaning
but we
is
could
that?
put like Hawaii, Guam, Virgin
Puerto
Islands,
Rico,
like all
yeah.
those things could be its own thing in a way.
Let's just
we
add
could
Hawaii
also-
to the map. Like, let's just do it.
Yeah, we could also kind of punt on it a little bit. We can sort of keep that as a thing, but then let's see how the layout comes out, because it may answer the question about how to group these things as the layout comes together. But I like the idea of putting them all in
Yeah.
one place and then having
Yeah.
multiple tables to sort of to reference to them, because they are going to be pretty small.
Yeah, I had kind of 2 thoughts about it. One would be to take Black Rock Mountains, Serpent Isle, and the Fire Isles, and do that because they're all geographically very close and they're all
Yeah,
pretty
it'd be
small.
like a little triangle.
The other thought would be to take the 3 island locations, so Drake Island, Serpent Island, Fire Isles, and just have a section, the islands, and do it that way.
I like that better as the
Okay.
aesthetic choice.
Only
Okay.
because I was just looking through them, and Odysseia is like a huge thing, whereas the islands really are just a paragraph.
They are.
Right.
Odysseia is
Yeah.
like 3 pages, and then the I have them up.
Yeah,
It's-
I think Odyssey
they're
can
a
carry that
Drake,
section.
Fire, and Serpent are going to be the islands.
Yeah.
The islands, and
and
if
they
we want to give
really
it a
are just 1 paragraph each.
yeah, and I think that's nice because then that leads me to my next thing. Daniel is willing to do a regional map for €100.
Okay, that seems fair. I
Yeah.
sent him the rest of his money, by the way. I accidentally sent him US dollars, and that's garbage. So I sent him euros. And that was...
This isn't enough money.
No, it's not.
Uh,
You only sent me this much. That's not enough. So,
I just sent you all a thing on Discord that I saw a few days ago, and it related to our conversation.
That's great. I've never seen that. That's amazing.
I love this.
That's in Alaska in a museum. It's a passive aggressive map of
I love that.
the United States, and I love it.
I want a tattoo of the lower 48.
Yeah, I love that Hawaii matters, but like most of the states.
Yeah.
Lower 41. Okay.
Okay,
Anyway.
so Daniel's going to do the regional map, but I want to get any other regional changes or consolidation that we're doing out of the way now. The other thing I wanted to propose, partly for geographic reasons, partly for size of the chapter reasons, is Whitehedge. Right now is in Hunter's Bounty.
Yeah.
I propose moving it to Battered Coast, because first of all, it's
closer to Brightport.
It's closer to
Yeah.
Brightport, and Hunter's Bounty is a huge region. That's Fairбay, that's Lockfort, that's the Silver Glade. Like, there's a lot there.
High Mantle.
Sorry,
yeah,
what's
that's a lot.
moving to?
Yeah.
Whitehedge.
Whitehedge is moving to.
Battered Coast.
The Battered Coast, because right now Battered Coast is just Overdale, Aldmore, Bandit Rest. That's it. So
Sweet.
I think we can add Whitehedge to that.
Awesome.
And Whitehedge is way up there too. Like it's so.
I
It's
always
pretty
think,
far up from the rest of the region.
yeah, I always lump Whitehedge and Brightport together just because of travel and how. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're ditching 4 regions if we do this. 3 regions.
No, we're not ditching anything with Whitehedge. Right now, it's a part of the Hunter's Bounty.
Okay.
And we're just gonna move
But
it.
And we're
that's a huge
combining-
region.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we're combining all 3 islands, so we're technically getting rid of 2 regions.
Yes.
But we're
Yeah.
not getting rid of any of the tables because each island does deserve its own table.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're drastically different in terms of what's on them.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Also, my notes are a fucking mess right now.
That's fine, dude.
So that's fine. If you guys want, I don't know if it's worth it to you guys or if anybody else wants to take a pass at it, but if you want to look at the way the what's in each region right now, and sort of speak now or forever hold your peace. Once we have Daniel do that regional map, I think we're going to lock it in as far as
that we
and
can't.
I
come
can
back
make
to
a
that.
new one of that tomorrow, just so that everyone's on the same page with the Whitehedge
Yeah.
move and the island move.
Yeah, the original regional map that you made, which I still reference.
Yeah.
The only thing we ended up doing differently from that is originally you had Stone Sunder as a part of the Northlands.
Yes.
Which I want to also point out because I showed Daniel the map you made, and I was like,
Yeah.
like this, but the way you do it.
Yeah, better.
Yeah.
Not shitty like.
No, honestly, it's a very good job. Like, it's
Yeah.
very clear.
Stone Sunder is part of the divide now, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the divide now. Yeah. But with that as a general overview, I want to be like this, but here's what we changed since then, and we can, or if you want to just make a new one, we can do that
I'll
too.
probably just make a new one because that'd
Okay.
be easier.
Okay.
And I'll just really quickly do basically the exact same thing I did. It took me maybe an hour to do the first time, and now I know how to do it. So.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got? Okay. Lara with Borders, Whitehedge. The notes for Lara and Winterhaven maps. I will wait for Val to sign off on that sheet before I give Daniel those notes. So similar to moving Whitehedge, the Hunter's Bounty is so large. I was looking at all the art we're doing for it. I think we're doing too much art for Hunter's Bounty. I want to petition to cut the Fairбay landscape, or at least change it from being a big finished landscape to something more kind of like Traveler's Journal sketchy. Because right now we have so many landscapes, I think a little bit is going to have to give if we're going to get anywhere near our deadline right now. Yeah, I know. It's something that kind of occurred to me. It's like, shit, we might have, for the art team we have, unless I can suddenly find like 2 or 3 more landscape people, landscapes might be something we give on a little bit.
Well, okay.
If that's what you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if that's what you need, maybe give it a week, and then see if, because I could see Jason right there, maybe see if we can find landscape artists. If you need 2 or 3, see if that's something we can find.
And yeah, you know how I feel about giving on things. So I just like, okay. I like the idea of showing a little snapshot of each town and city like we've been doing.
Sure.
I do fully agree with your post the other day is we need to figure out this artist stuff because there's no way we're going to get all the art in by... There's just no way.
Yeah.
Honestly, little things like the list of 10 taking to November shocked me. Like, I thought that would be... Because of the style, I thought it'd be quicker.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise to me, too. So... Things like that, and there's a chance of that happening with any new artist we take on too. So,
yeah. Well, one of the things that I think a new artist wouldn't get that a lot of our artists now get is when, like Adam or someone like that. It's like, yeah, we're trying to get done by November, December because we need to have it done so that it can go to layout and things. We just need it. So,
yeah.
If someone joined on now, it's like, well, you got 6 weeks. Like, it would be, let's get it done.
That's the thing, yeah. So just right now, so we have 1 piece of art for the Black Rock Mountains, 1 for Dragon's Reach, 2 for the Hazon Mountains, 1 for Hero's March, 3 for Hunter's Bounty. That's the one I proposed to cut. 4 for the Divide. 4 landscapes for the Divide.
Yeah, that's a lot. What is it? Stone Sunder, Orc Encampment, the Divide proper, Donhurst.
Stone Sunder, the Encampment, Durn Hollow, and Aubrey.
Durn Hollow? Oh, shit.
Yeah. So that's the thing, like...
Maybe we should go through all the... Like, Jason and I can go through all the landscapes and see what, like... We can at least try to make some things low priority.
What sucks is it's not a cost thing, it's a time thing.
Yeah.
We got the money for it.
Right.
Which again, not that we even have to cut them completely, but maybe we don't do a super high resolution, beautifully painterly, piece that's a double page spread. Maybe we do a sketch. Maybe we do
it does 2 things. Number 1, sorry to jump in. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good.
Thinking about it from region to region to region and just this book overall, it's really hard to do at this stage because we don't have the layout for everything to sort of see where the holes and the gaps are. But spreading that out is going to be super helpful so that one region doesn't have 4 different spreads because what do you do? Then it just becomes a coffee table book of spreads because we're waiting for the next region to start. So spreading things out actually from a book point of view, not just from a area point of view, but from the book itself, it's going to make sense. The other thing that will help, and I don't think it's about giving anything away, like failing on anything or like it's a failure, is it actually helps that whole experience for some things to be these beautiful landscape layouts, and then for there to be something that's a little bit more sketchy and more interesting, but still evokes exactly what Durn Hollow is about. For example, like we don't need every nuance, every color of how something burned down. It's just whatever, right? Like it helps the way that you go through a magazine, and when you turn the page of a magazine, it's not always a big full color spread, or it would not be a very interesting magazine. So think about it that way too. It does help. I don't think you need to feel like it's giving anything away.
No, and I agree. The only thing that worries me a little bit about this is we started doing these in order. So we have this beautiful Northlands thing, we have Winter Haven, we have Ebony Harbor, and we have Overdale. So, and we're working on the Evergreen. So half the continent is going to be this beautiful landscape thing, and then the other half is like, fuck you, sketches. Like I want to, maybe we could parse that out a little bit so that no one's getting shafted. I do agree. 4 for the Divide might be a little thorough.
I feel like if there were less than 4 in the Divide, and less than 3 in Heroes March, yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's so much because there's going to be some of that sketchy interstitial stuff in the other regions. Like the Evergreen is going to have that huge, beautiful Andrew piece of the canopy, but we're also going to have a gritty picture of the White Raven's Cave and of the Witch's Hut. Like those aren't going to be the same art style.
No.
So we can do the same thing with the other regions as well. They don't have to be the big sweeping thing. So maybe we don't cut them, but maybe we reduce them. Maybe we make them smaller.
I I'll make this promise. We'll look through, and I'll try to, at the very least, reduce, if not cut, 25% of it. Does that sound fair?
Do what you think the project needs, but we don't need to hit a number. But take a look and see, based on the way that things are shaping up
Jason,
right
you're
now.
really bad at math. Don't.
I'm not, because I know how many. Oh, here's the thing. I know how many we've discussed, and we added to it when we started the book proper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know what I would like to do, but at the very least, if we can't get the big, beautiful, full-color spread thing, I would like to find an artist to do something maybe a little more sepia tone, sketchy.
Right.
Like
or even just draw, like, one building. Like, Fairbay, for instance, you don't have to draw all of Fairbay. Wouldn't it be cool if we just saw the Pounce and Claw?
Well, we
Something
actually
like
talked
that.
about this a little bit last time. Is if we could find somebody to do a couple of the unique buildings in some of the regions, like the Pounce and Claw in Fairbay, the 2 brothels in Dern Hollow. That's really all that town is anyway. Get somebody to do like a pencil sketch of 2 brothels on opposite sides of the road, and like that's enough for Dern Hollow, and maybe a little interstitial piece of stupid Vernon standing at his post,
right,
over in the corner somewhere,
And I think
helps. Sorry.
No, go.
No, it also helps knowing this last round of the layout stuff, where sometimes I'll have not quite enough information to fill 2 full pages, and so it's actually kind of interesting to have like 3 columns and then like a ripped page with an image behind it.
Right.
And I hate to cut off a whole landscape just for the sake of the layout. So having some things that are maybe sometimes some longer or even more landscapey, and I don't mean full spread, but like thin landscapey type, panoramic type things are actually helpful for the layout sometimes. Now, we might have to do a little bit of planning around that happening, but my point is that the more I have to work with, the more it means I can do something cool with it.
And from my standpoint,
so go crazy.
Right. From my standpoint, it was more of an opportunity to show these towns off in more than just what you see on the show. So, like, the whole thing, Dern Hollow's two brothels, haha. It was like, okay, well, I want to pan back and show all this other stuff. So, that's the point of the setting book to me. It's like, oh, but there's all these other places and things to do. But deadlines exist, and we have 1 landscaped artist right now, and we've done 4 in the last 6 months.
Yeah, he's very good, but it takes time. He surprised us when we first had him do the Northlands, and I thought we were getting literally something to put on the top half of a page.
Yeah, no.
And he gave us this huge high-res painting that filled 2 pages.
And it's fucking beautiful, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah.
I think we need to try and find at least 1 more landscape artist.
Yeah, so I will do that.
Also, don't forget that yes, this book is incredibly important, and we're putting everything into here. But it doesn't mean that there can't be something else at some point where there is additional art for some of these things. So we have an entire, PDF of all of the art area or something like that, where we actually do get more of those pan back type moments too, or whatever we want.
Or zoom in on this city. You could have like a module that's just Dern Hollow, or that's just Whitehedge or Fairbay. Like.
Remind me to talk about the modules. That's later. But we gotta talk.
maybe one of our 55 modules will be about Dern Hollow.
There's only 13.
Oh my god.
Let's see.
Fool.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Every day I wake up and call myself.
So. To counterbalance me suggesting we cut art, I wanted to also mention the potential of adding art, because I was looking through things, and I would really like to find a way to fit all of the currently active PCs in the book art-wise. We're only missing a couple, but I was looking through the list, and I think we could do it.
Well, especially for cutting landscapes.
There's some money right there.
Maybe we should put in that to see how much money we save cutting landscapes, because the budget is very tight right now.
Yeah.
As the budget person, and we've messed around with it a lot.
Yeah.
We've saved money some places, but then we've promised money other places. I'll be honest, I don't know how we're doing with the budget, and I won't know until we're further in.
I think, as of right now, I think we're saving more money than we're spending. Because things fluctuate. Like, okay, this map making.
We're not 100% sure about shipping and things.
Oh no.
So like.
But we're talking to Chris about stuff. Mm-hmm. Chris said something about being able to save us a substantial amount of money. The word thousands was used.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
that would be cool.
That I was just talking to him again today.
Okay, so that's good. But yeah, so we could do things like even as simple as like we added Hoog, right? We added the art for Hoog just by making Larg go from full body to bust.
Right.
So we have that option. We have option of the money saved if we cut a landscape. We have things like right now we have a budget to do a bust piece of Arya. Why not do Aster instead? You know, things like that. Mm-hmm. That I think we can shuffle things around because I feel pretty strongly about getting at least the 18 PCs represented in the book.
I didn't know Arya was on the list.
Yeah. Arya's on the list for a bust portrait, but Aster is not.
Well, and I feel like this would keep the peace too.
That's the one thing. Like, okay, look, I felt pretty strongly about hitting everybody up on the cast and trying to get one of their characters done at least.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it's like, okay, well, I think Arya at the time was definitely more featured than Aster.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a no-brainer.
Right.
I would like to see...
Diana's there too, actually. Like, I think everybody but Aster. Perhaps. So maybe Kelsey doesn't mind. I don't know, but... But that so right now, to my count, it's Varys, Elena, and Aster are the only PCs that are active that are not, that don't have art in the book.
We try to get most everybody.
Yeah,
I'm actually shocked. I thought there was more.
Well, originally was also Clara, but we added Clara.
Right.
So,
I paid for Clara.
I know. I'm just saying, but we found a way to fit her in, even if it was just out of pocket.
Yeah.
So, I think that we can find ways to fit the other three in somehow. You know.
Yeah.
I think so.
And my new character, since Merrick died in the last episode. What?
My new character.
Just seeing if anybody's listening.
Since Clara's definitely going to die because I admitted she can't swim, and
that was so dumb.
Right, let me pause this video to write an angry email.
I hate being
like, you're not gonna do art for my 12 characters. Come on, guys.
So, like, okay, I thought it was more than that. I think we could find room in the budget for 3.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I would like to see, before we commit to anything, because it's going to take us a while to buzz through.
Yeah, no, we got time, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm going to try to hit up Adam a little more, like try to get. It's like, come on, man, let's get going, because he's had a bunch of stuff going in his life, because like everyone does. But like, I wanna get moving.
Yeah.
So
maybe cut out the Hondo. Let's just get rid of the full Hondo. Like it just
the 2-page spread.
You don't want to see my full Hondo
centerfold.
So what I'll do, I think, is tomorrow I'll sit down, I'll make the list like usual with the Revisit Northlands on there, and then I'll make Jasper's checklist. Because then we'll have a checklist of all of the art in all of the different regions and all the characters, and it'll work out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure out Varys, Alana, Aster. We'll figure out how many layouts we can cut and things like that.
So if we were to grab, let's say, because I can help look for artists too. Let's say let's say we needed 2 or 3 different artists. Mm-hmm. Landscape, at least one for landscape. What else do we need? Like, how far are we along on character stuff?
Character is the biggest chunk.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, landscape is the worst ratio in terms of people we have doing it versus how much there is left to do.
Yeah.
But
so I almost think 2 landscape artists would be smart. Like,
I'm kind of thinking of like a lot of this is kind of snowballing because we have a lot of people working on stuff like monsters and items and this and that. And eventually those things run out and everybody funnels into doing more character work.
Well, we're out of cryptids. What's Kat working on after cryptids?
Kat just replied because I wanted to ask and be like, hey, what do you want to work on next? Because you're one of our most reliable and skilled people on our staff. So what do you want to do? And Kat said...
Nothing. Quit.
See you, losers.
Said meow meow.
Thanks for the money. Bye.
Double middle fingers.
So Kat said, I'm definitely interested in more work. I love drawing monsters and would be interested in characters. I could do landscapes, but only as line art due to other obligations.
Oh, line
That's
art.
another place where we can do.
Damn. Okay.
We can save some money because, what's his name? Arthur colors for cheaper than. Like, for example, with what Crowbar is doing, right? Crowbar is going to charge us $400 to do that Pantheon piece.
Yeah.
We're getting it, Arthur to color it for a total of like $150.
Yeah.
So we could do something similar with the landscapes as well, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love their monsters though. Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay.
Well, okay. There's also this. Right now, landscapes are budgeted $100. I don't know how much their line art would be for landscape stuff.
We would have to talk about price, because Arthur, if the full page, Arthur's going to charge $80 for the page, no matter what if it's a full page. That's what Arthur charges for a full page.
So we might not actually get it cheaper if we did the line art in Arthur color.
Or that could be maybe Kat's the one who does the unique buildings that are only a quarter page in size.
Okay.
And Arthur charges far less to do that. I don't know. We would have to talk about it. It's an option. I kind of am of the opinion that let's get Kat on more creatures.
It's kind of where I'm at.
I was thinking creatures and characters because they sounded more excited about that, and like you said, like
I could do landscapes. That's not as enthusiastic, and Kat's really good at monsters.
That's what I was gonna say. Like besides cryptids, we haven't really been working on monsters.
And we'll get faster results if they're enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the image list I have up right now, we have 6 monsters left and 4 demons. Not counting
the Pantheon. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 10 right there. We could probably just say, hey, here's a list of 10.
You know what? Based on the cryptids, I think we could start them on demons.
Okay.
Because I want some truly fucked up stuff.
Okay.
And, dude, that Chimera came out so cool.
Yeah,
yes.
Right?
Ah!
Is that hentai monster you had them make?
Yes.
I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
Okay, so let's put Kat on demons. So if you guys want to write out, just go ahead and bang out descriptions for all 4 of the demons.
Yeah.
I'll send all 4 and let's just go,
Yeah, I think they're partially done already in the thing, but I could flesh each one of them out.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so that's good. Back on the thing of recruiting new artists, and Jasper, Susan, if you guys are welcome to hang out, but if you need to take off, we're going to talk about art.
I'm actually that's perfect timing. I was about to say I'm going to go actually eat.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
Food's good.
Selfish prick. Bye.
And I actually think John just drove up with my food too. So
Oh, okay.
I like you both did the hand motions.
John drove up
actually,
with my food, so I don't know what he's doing.
I might be going now.
he got us both food, Jasper. You know this.
Oh.
Such a
Oh,
good,
my phone. I gotta go, guys. My phone's ringing, so I'll just talk to you.
Guess that leaves
John's
us.
Yeah.
But you know what? We'll stay in the call and make it really weird. It's just
All of you just leave
Yeah.
and talk in your empty rooms.
But we're using Skype to talk to each other. That's how.
You can see my couch, so I just go sit over there and play video games.
You're playing on your phone.
Just fucking boot up the PlayStation. Just fucking...
Glad that's over.
the mic is on and everything. You're still like, oh, a bunch of bullshit.
Who's got
assholes.
What are you doing, honey? I just got done talking to these fucking losers.
Remember those assholes I was telling you about?
Didn't they get a real job yet? No.
I'm totally taking him for a ride too. None of this is actually going to happen. Hey, I haven't talked to an artist in 3 months.
I've been deleting all these files.
I just pulled all these images from DeviantArt. I don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I just stole all this shit from DeviantArt. Wait till they see all the Sonic OCs I put in the folder.
He keeps sending it back for revisions, and I barely change anything. He hasn't noticed.
I just put
a
filter
lemur,
on in
it's great.
Photoshop.
This was literally in an anime last week.
Damn, they got me.
Okay. All right. Okay, you guys
Oh,
go
guys,
enjoy your food.
Yeah, guys.
Jameson, you're trapped here forever.
Yeah. We're talking for a while. So.
Well, I've got until my family comes home, so we are on a little bit of a.
Well, then you guys got to get the hell out of here so we can keep going. So.
Bye.
I love you though. Bye.
It's loud here, so bye.
Yeah, go grab something to eat. We're gonna do
Bye,
that
guys.
later. Bye.
We'll do it again next week.
Yeah. See ya.
Hell yeah.
Bye, guys.
I just realized quesadillas might not happen tonight.
Oh, they're not happening
God
tonight.
damn it.
We're not getting done this meeting for a while.
What's not happening tonight?
Not
Quesadillas.
McDonald's
I'm
again.
not making
can't-
dinner. Fuck that.
I can't
I almost got
McDonald's
Wendy's
again.
on
We're
the
not
way
eating.
home.
Yeah, oh man, I'd kill for a Wendy's.
Oh,
There's one right around the corner, dangerously,
Oh,
irresponsibly close to where I live.
fuck! I
There's
want
a
that.
Sonic too.
I've never had Sonic. Is it any
Sonic's
good?
really good. It's great. The only thing that keeps me from going there is the line is always so fucking long.
do you have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
Checkers
yeah.
near you? No, you're in Massachusetts. You don't get a Checkers.
I don't
miss
know what that
Checkers.
is.
Yeah.
It's like a
It's a
Florida
Burger Shack.
Oh, okay.
place. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have really good fries. Anyway.
You have a Fuddruckers though.
I've never been to
I've never been
Fuddrucker.
to a Fuddrucker.
On the burger hierarchy of like nice fast food, that middle tier of burgers,
Uh-huh.
it's the top of that tier, definitely.
It's better
I
than
love
Steak and
Red
Shake.
Robin.
Mm,
Red Robin's more
I mean, I'm
boring.
gonna say yes.
Ooh.
You can get a venison burger. You can
Ah.
get a bison burger. You can get all kinds. If it's
I didn't
if
know
it's
Fuddruckers was like a drive-through.
don't let
place.
Val watch this. If you
Yeah,
get
no.
a breeze, you can kill it and get it made into a burger at Fuddruckers.
You can get a Dave burger.
Yeah, you just point to that dude and they'll make a burger out of him. You know.
They have this tank in the center. There's just those guys.
There's a little claw that comes down.
They have rubber bands wrapped all around their hands.
Good. I don't want him pinching me. I might be a little delirious today. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm so tired.
So let's talk about the art recruitment thing, because I actually have already sent out feelers to like 6 people.
Oh shit! I didn't know you were on it that bad. That quick.
Yeah, so what I did was I follow a couple of subreddits that are really good for like D&D character art.
Mm.
So I found people who did stuff that I thought was similar enough to what we're doing. And kind of I clicked and looked through their post history to see like how much they post and stuff like that. And if I thought it would be a match, I'd just hit them up with like a general, hey, here's what we're doing. Do you want to be involved?
Right.
Let me open my messages. I think I messaged like 5 people that way, 4 people that way.
All right.
And so far only one's gotten back to me. So I
That
want to
sounds
share.
like the correct ratio
Yeah.
for feelers
yeah.
on the internet.
Yeah. So this person said, I would love to be part of it. I have experience with character art and monsters. Landscapes are not my strong side, so that
Okay,
hunt continues.
But again,
Yeah.
that's fine, because I feel like we're gonna need characters and monsters and bipedal stuff more than we're gonna need
Yeah.
landscapes. Landscapes are gonna be a crunch, and we
Yeah.
might need 2 people on it, or like 2 additional people on it.
I mean, I found Andrew on just a random DeviantArt search, so
Yeah,
we can
you
do
never
that
know.
again. Yeah. Here's the gallery of the person who reached back out and said that they were interested. It's in the art
shit.
channel on the Discord.
I accidentally opened Overwatch. Hold on, get out of there. Get out
Wow,
of there.
that's some reflexive
Yeah,
nonsense.
it was right
you
next
just
to my
did.
Discord.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I hate new DeviantArt. Ugh.
Wow.
I didn't even know they changed it, but this is very
They
weird.
did.
This looks
Hate
like
it.
It looks like what?
Spotify.
Oh, it does.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow, it does.
Wow.
Holy
Yeah.
shit! It's even down to the color scheme. Like,
Yeah.
All
Alright,
right, let's look at
let's
their
look
shit.
at these characters. All right.
Ooh. I like it.
Yeah. I think that looking at the sheer volume of characters this
Striking a
person does, I
pose.
think we can give them a list and just have them go. I mean, let's try like 1 or 2 for starters, but if we like what what they're doing, we can just say, hey, here's 8 NPCs. Like, go nuts.
That's
Get
just
back to us
Sora.
when you have.
That's very Sora. Jeez, yeah. No, you know what?
Alejandra.
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's some diversity here too.
yeah.
Yeah. So my one thought I had was, hang on, let me get back to it. There's only a couple here, but like the third from the top, that like Tabaxi Bard thing is just line art. I had thought of doing line art and then having Arthur do colors. First of all, because that saves us money. Secondly, because that might unify the style a little bit more with what the other stuff that Arthur's coloring, kind of tie it together closer.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good. As long as it like works out financially, because some people are weird about coloring, where they're like, yeah, I can do a full piece for $80 and then color it for $85, and it's like.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a thing where I reach out and I'm like, hey, I'll $50 for full body black and white, or what is it? Hang on, I gave the prices. I said bust black and white 30, full body black and white 50, which is what we've been paying Roman and Rock.
Right.
Bust color 60, full body color 90.
Yeah.
Now, if Arthur colors the black and white stuff, it actually comes in a little bit less than if we have one person do color, and which is weird that it worked out that way.
Right.
But so I might approach this person because their colors are fine. Like there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah,
but
fine,
I think Arthur is overall a stronger colorist. So I think what I'd like to do is yeah, and there's not as much for him to do. So I would rather say, hey, if you want to do just bang out some line art for us, these characters, as long as the designs are there, you clearly have the chops, then we'll have our guy color them, and we can get like a production line going with this stuff. Because Arthur gets it done the same day half the time. Like he's fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he is super fast.
Yeah.
Are we doing the same thing with the demonic pantheon that we are doing with the gods?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be Crowbar as soon as Crowbar is done. Yeah. After that, we don't have Crowbar lined up for anything. I kind of want to wait until she starts on the demonic pantheon before we approach her about doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds
good.
I mean, it all depends on when she gets done the pantheon she's working on now too, because if it's like
done.
Yeah. Well, it took her a while to get started, but now that I think that she started, she'll be pretty quick. Okay. I mean, she hit that cover pretty quick by the time she started it.
That's fair. Yeah, she gets real busy.
Yeah. So, all right, great. I will reach back out to this person. Do I have a name? No. Silky Noir. Silky Noir. Silky it is. So nobody else has gotten back to me on that list. However, I did meet a person at Ladies Con this weekend. Because I have two friends and collaborators who were tabling there. It's a little con in my area, and I met this person whose business card is like this little
that's cool.
shop membership thing, and so I emailed them with like, hey, I really like your work. So first of all, I'm going to do three things. I'm going to send you a link to their portfolio.
Okay, hit me.
And then I'm going to read you the email they wrote back to me because there's some things to think about. But I want you to see their portfolio first. Oh, that's not a hyperlink.
That's
weird.
Just I can do it. Where's my browser? Shazam.
So specifically click on the personal work tab, I think it is. Sketches.
Okay.
And sketches and illustration, I think is the right. Yeah, illustration is a lot of the stuff that she had on her table.
Okay.
There was a lot more in person. There was a lot of like really pen and ink stuff that I really, really, really liked.
Okay.
There's some good stuff here too. Now, I want your first impressions because the short version of the email that you wrote back to me is like, "Hey, this sounds really cool. I'm super excited. Your prices are too low."
That's as soon as you said like we have stuff to talk about. It's like, oh, she wants more than we can offer.
Yeah, and if you guys like were head over heels in love with this, I was gonna say we can talk about it. But if this is kind of like, I think she's very good. I don't know.
I don't know if the style matches what.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like, so I'm looking in the personal work illustration tab, the one on the bottom left, the woman with the snake. Like, I think that style could fit some of the stuff that we need really, really well. But I don't know that it's going to fit so well / be so much better than what else we're doing that it's going to be worth paying more money for it.
Well,
you know?
okay. Are we? How
Okay.
off for her?
Let's read the email.
Because if it's like a $50 a piece or some shit, like.
She wrote me a big email.
Oh, okay.
Which is great because she's like, hey, first, thank you for reaching out to me. I'm so happy to hear that you like my work. I'm a big fan of D&D, blah, blah, blah. I checked out the Kickstarter. I listened to the first episode of Arc 2, the series. So she's like, great.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Regarding budget, bust portrait, black and white.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so no.
$240.
Are you fucking crazy?
So yeah, that's what I said. But then she's like that. She said, that being said, I am flexible and would like to accommodate your budget. For example, if I retain the copyrights, I can get the prices down to, and that's kind of where I stopped reading. Do we want to fuck with copyright and all this stuff?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to have to take our book out of circulation at some point unless we pay a license fee. And here's the thing. I like her work. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But we're offering $30 for a black and white bust, and she comes back with $240. I don't think we're on the same planet.
No.
Yeah, no. I think I'm gonna just be like, no. So I wanted to read it, but I think she's good enough that it was worth looking at it twice.
And there might be a project.
Listen to the thing, yeah.
Yeah, there might be a project or something. But Jesus Christ, even like a cover, I feel like she charged like $1,000 for something black and white.
Yeah.
And we can't do that. Like.
Right.
Yeah. So that I was really excited when she wrote back, and then I read the email. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I've had that happen to me before. Where I'm like, oh, okay.
And it doesn't mean we can't work together in the future. It's just that we have a very tight budget for what we're trying to do. We're trying to put in like 400 pieces of artwork for this thing, so it's very.
Yeah. And this is definitely like what she does. Like this is how she pays bills, is doing these types of portraits, and it's like it's not what we need. So. All right, I'll write back, and there might be a thing where she just like highballed us, and she might be like, okay.
That's the thing.
Probably
like,
not.
Part of me wonders if like, did you see how much we made in the Kickstarter,
right?
And get insulted by how much we were offering you based on the number that you saw on the Kickstarter?
Do you think we have $85,000? Because we don't, and we never did.
Yeah.
So like, that's the
no.
Yeah.
So okay.
Her prerogative, whatever. She's free to name whatever thing, and we're free to go.
Totally.
No.
Yeah, I mean, she wouldn't be the first person we've turned down because of that.
Exactly.
No.
I can think of 2 others. So, I'm gonna reply back to that. I'm gonna reply back to Silky and say, hell yeah, get on board.
Yeah. Get on the trolley. Let's go.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some of these other folks. Do you want to see some work from these guys that I contacted?
Yeah, I mean they haven't.
Might as well, right?
They haven't reached out yet, but like, are any of these the landscape people?
No, I was at this time I was in character mindset, but I'm definitely going to start looking at landscape stuff. So we got to talk about Saba. I'm not worried yet.
You're not,
but
because it's
well,
it's late September.
Yeah, I know. She said she actually emailed me this morning. She said she was going to get me the colored version of Susan tonight. So tonight's not over. Might still happen. Here's my concern: is if this goes on much longer, we're going to have to make a decision, and I'm concerned that our decision is going to be limited by our contract, and our backup options.
Okay.
I'm less worried about that. I'm more worried about the contract because I don't want to pay for work that we're not getting done. I mean, again, this is another one of those situations where I fought for somebody and I don't want them to fail.
Right.
But my patience is eventually going to run out. So we're going to reach a point where I say, hey, listen, it's been a month and I have a portrait and a half from you.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The contract's being failed on her end at this point because it did say that it was on a schedule. So if we feel we can hit her up and be like, hey, we feel like you're not hitting the numbers we need you to hit, maybe we could get someone else to color them. If she could just get us the finished black and white, we can negotiate a new price based on the fact that she's doing half the work.
I thought about that too because we've already paid her half.
I also want to say this. We got to get out of that mindset of it being your branch that you climbed out on.
Oh yeah, I don't think about
Stop
it that way.
I don't
record.
either,
Like,
dude.
Well,
there
no,
are
it's
too
not.
many
It's
cogs.
not even like it's. I'm not saying it like it hurts my reputation when she does this. It's more like I want if there's somebody that I'm willing to work with as an artist, then it means that I want them to be successful.
Right.
And so, regardless of what any other larger conversations that we're having as a group around this person,
right.
If I'm working with them, I want it to work out for our sake and for their sake. And I really, really, really don't like closing the book on somebody.
And I get it. And I get it. And it's not okay. It's like I just laughed at a price. And it's not because that price is ridiculous for her work. It's because we can't pay that price right now. Yeah. Now, I look at this as a case-by-case basis. Like, okay, there's an artist that I've talked about on Discord that's like, I don't think it's a good fit for us. And that's fine. But that doesn't mean I don't like them or I don't like them as an artist altogether or that we can't work together on something in the future. But I think there comes a time where you got to look at the artwork that's been given, how long it took to get this far, and ever since you sent that email about, well, you can't use the same template for half the cast because they're all female. You can't use the same and ever since you sent that, it's glacial speed, dude. We're dead slow with this. And there are 18 cast members, 19 if you count me.
20 if you count
20
Steve.
with Steve.
20 with Steve. We haven't even started Steve. We just can't, dude.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to see if the piece comes in tonight. And I'm going to see how it looks. Then, I'm going to email her tomorrow, no matter what, regardless of whether or not I get a piece. And that sounded terrible. I'm going to email her tomorrow and be like, listen, like we have one last shot to hit our any kind of timeliness on this. Yeah. And if we can't do it, we're going to have to find a point where we cut this off. And what I think would be good if I can get a clean black and white sketch for each person that doesn't make Ian look like a potato, then we can take that and bring it to somebody to finish it.
Yeah.
I think that's our best bet. I don't want to start over completely for lots of reasons, but
there's also and this wasn't something I advertised at the time, and Susan got a new piece before it happened anyway, but if Saba gives us pieces that we're not entirely happy with but are salvageable, for instance, like the eyes are too close together, I can edit that to make it work. And I did that with Susan's piece at one point, her first piece, because I didn't want to put something on stage that she really, really hated. So I sent her the new one that I had edited, and I kind of fixed her chin and moved her eyes and all of that. I know that's douchey to an artist, but at the same time, if we can't get the revisions that we're asking for, I could do that to try to clean up any pieces that she does send us to make them look more like the cast members.
So right now, the only one that has not been revisited that absolutely needed to be revisited is Ian. We have a better version of Jamie. We have a much better version of Susan.
Yeah.
We have a better version of Valerie even.
Yeah. So
the only one that absolutely needs to be redone is Ian, and then we need a start for Steve.
Yes.
And then if this isn't going to work, we can take those lines from Saba and have somebody clean them up, color them. We can even have Arthur color them. Give him a bat. Say, here's $200. You know,
I think that it's salvageable based on the fact that we were even able to salvage them for the live game, personally.
Yeah.
I'm okay. It's been a month since the live game.
Right.
We've had almost no progress since then.
Yeah.
And it's been 6 weeks since you sent that email. And that is when this started.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I think, because my thought was like, okay, so the deadline was an issue when she said it wasn't going to be. That's fine. She's clearly younger. She's clearly not as experienced as some of our other people. That's fine.
Totally.
And it was a super tight deadline.
Yeah, it was a tight deadline. So, and it's a difficult task. Like, I'm not taking this over. I can't do this. So when we did that reset email, and it was like, okay, if you can just get us those pencil sketches, which did come in, even though it was stressful, if you can get us those pencil sketches for everybody after Dragon Con, you will have much more time. You have until late November to do all of these. It's been a month. There was 2 months left, and we were not making enough progress.
And I'll be honest, we're at the stage where we need to start thinking about like, okay, I've got to set an end time on backer kit.
Yeah.
We need to, because okay, we're getting the coins made now. We have a finite amount of coins. We have
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna have we have to close it down so that we can go to print with this. So we're gonna have to have an end date, which means artists are gonna have to be done either on that date or before it, for the most part. There will be little things that can trickle in here and there, but we need to be able, like, it can't be this. It has to be a finite amount of time. It can't be like, well, a couple of months, or so. It has to be like, okay, on this date. And I do not think that Saba's going to get that done. I think that they're a little shook after the email, which I completely understand. And I think it might be a competence thing, or maybe just lost passion for this particular project.
I mean, I'm a little bit worried that it's that. I don't know for sure. I think that regardless of whether I get the piece that was promised tonight, I think I have to email tomorrow and be like, listen, we are up against it right now. Like, I know that I said there wasn't a deadline. That was based on us having 3 months left.
Right.
But now we have 2 months left and almost nothing's been done. So,
right. And it's a year disappears real quick, dude. And at the end of the Kickstarter, it was May. It's now the end of September. It's just, we got to be a little firm with these.
Yeah. So, let me email tomorrow morning, and I will let you know what happens with it. But I basically, this is me saying that I'm kind of at the end of my rope with this.
Right. And I get it. It's frustrating.
Yeah. So let's see what we can do. I would like to. I'm probably gonna have to get Susan's opinion on the contract and how we can make that work so that we're not paying the full amount if we're not getting. I mean, because basically, like, we're missing deadlines is what it's coming down to.
Yeah.
But
that's half the contract.
Well, it's half the contract is that, and half the contract is. I think the contract says, like, if after 2 revisions we're still not happy with the end product, but that's a piece by piece thing.
And here's the thing: so we're stressing over it. They might just want to walk away after.
I mean,
maybe they're tired of getting fucking emails about it.
I feel like I gave her that option already, and maybe I don't know.
Maybe
I'm not trying to screw anybody out of money, but we're not getting the work. Like, it's just we already paid half up front, and we're not at the halfway point with these. No,
we're not. I would consider it the halfway point if I could just get a nice clean pencil sketch of everybody.
That's
and
fine.
Then from there we can just make it work.
And those were supposed to be first drafts for the most part.
Yeah, some of them were. Some of them are really nice, and some of them are really loose, and that's fine, but we have a lot more to do. So I've been kind of stressing over it and hoping it'll work. And whenever something comes in, it's great. Like, I've been really optimistic over the last couple pieces that have come in, but
well, it's all about consistency, dude. Not just with the artwork, but the timing of it. Like,
and
that might be something she gets better at in time.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, definitely. I don't want to, like, I and something I'll probably write to her, be like, hey, listen, like, you know, you clearly have other stuff going on. I think she said something about college at one point in one of these emails. So, you know,
she might be on a schedule like Valerie is right
now. That actually explains some things, because she slowed down in September. Guess when college started?
That's
true.
Know? Yeah,
that's true.
So I might be like, listen, you got $300 from us for 20 pencil sketches. Like, how's that sound to you?
Yeah,
and maybe we could get someone to ink them, and
maybe. I mean,
Arthur
could ink in color.
I might send it to Arthur and be like, hey, do you want to slap colors on this just as a test and see what it looks like, or at least give me your opinion on what you think it would look like. Do we want hard bling inks?
Give me the notes. I can go in with iWarp and do my absolute best to make it look more like the person, or more like how they prefer to look in the book. And
worst case scenario, I could do a Dems Grapes of Ian. I don't think he'd mind. Like,
I think he'd love it. That's Ian.
That's Ian.
That's Ian.
He'll put it on t-shirt, be like, which is the only way Ian knows how to pose in any image.
That's true.
All right. So that being said, my wife's on her way home. So let's roll through the rest of this art stuff.
Oh my god, I want to die.
I still want to talk about modules. And...
Oh shit, yeah. All right, so let me roll through real quick, really fast. Andrew's working on the Evergreen, that's fine. Brian's working on the diseases, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos is working on Bertana and the Ogre, that's fine.
Looking good.
They all have your most recent notes, by the way.
Good.
Daniel has Esterholt. Crowbar has the Gods. Rock has Jordana. Let's pick one more character. I told him that he's got one more. And he's cool with that.
I'll make a note for that, just because we haven't looked at the... Okay, one for Rock.
Yep, one more for Rock. And any notes you guys have on Jordana, if at all, because I think that's essentially a final sketch. But if you want to change anything, he's cool about that.
That looked fine to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roman's working on the Royals. They're starting to come in. They look good to me. If you have any notes on those two that I posted today, let me know.
They're fucking hot. Keep going. Like that's that's exactly what like the look on.
It makes me so mad.
The look on Mav's face. It's just you saucy bastard.
You notice he's got the right sword too. I sent him the reference for that.
God damn it! That's so fucking.
I
awesome.
actually didn't notice that. Now I'm mad.
He's so happy with himself. Like there's just such
He knows he's great.
Yep.
Sierra. I actually saw Sierra at that same convention where I met that other person who tried to just
really?
Yeah, Sierra. She's based in DC, but she came up to Boston for this convention.
Oh shit.
Cool.
This is her last convention for the season, and she told me when she gets back home this week, she's going to start cranking out logos for us.
Awesome.
So I'm giving her a couple days. I'm going to follow up with her probably tomorrow, maybe Friday.
Did you send her what you sent us?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're in good shape there. Unlike with Asaba, I have a really good working relationship with Sierra. I think that we can pull something really cool out of this.
That was just a thing where I think we had different expectations, or we didn't explain ourselves well enough, or something. So like that wasn't that wasn't a Saba situation. I don't feel.
No. I think that now we're in a position, both us and her, where we can really kind of drill down to what we're trying to get done with those.
Right.
So, but it's been quiet from her, but I know why, so I'm not worried about it. But we will get rolling on that again soon. Ashley is back at it. She said she's got a new sketch and some colored pieces that she's going to send to me. I think she said tonight, but we'll see what happens.
I gotta send her a congrats on the wedding. I keep fucking forgetting about that.
Brandon is working finally, so that's good. He's got I'm gonna check in with him every week or two and just be like, hey man, what you got? Let's see. And see what happens. Saba we talked about, Cat we talked about. We're gonna get demon descriptions.
We can do that tomorrow.
I'm a little bit of a mindset, because if we have Saba do all 4 of those demons, then that's all of the cryptids and all of the demons by one person, minus the Klakor.
Sorry, you said Saba, and I got scared.
Oh, sorry, Cat.
Okay, well we could mix it up.
Well, I'm thinking, why don't we do 3 demons?
Okay.
Or 2 demons, I guess, because there's 4 to do. Why don't we do 2 demons? And do we want to pick a character to try? I don't actually remember off the top of my head how Cat's character art looks. But that's up to you guys.
Their creatures are really good, and usually you need to have a firm grasp of like.
That's fair, yeah.
Anatomy before you can do fucked up shit with anatomy.
I can also just ask, be like, hey, do you have any examples of your character work?
Yeah. We can do that, and then we could either pick. We could either do the demon. No matter what, we need the descriptions for the demons anyway.
Yeah. So, I think what I'd like to do, let's send them 2 demon descriptions and be like, hey, we got 2 more of these, or we can give you some characters. Depends on how much you want to vary it up.
Okay.
Let's see. Arthur is waiting on Jordana, which I can send him tonight, basically. And DeepMind, Rostislav, has those sketches of Anvin and Tatiana that I showed you guys that I have not yet gotten notes on. So I'm gonna bother Jamie and Michael tonight.
Yeah, Jamie's a little quiet on social media right now.
Yeah.
I think she was burnt out, and Michael's Michael, so we need to.
Yeah.
I just talked to Michael today. I know he's alive.
Oh, I also want to ask you guys, since we're waiting on third parties for both of those characters, if you want to give him one more character as well that we can push through the pipeline.
Yeah. Give him an NPC. We got plenty of those.
Yeah, so just pick one out. You probably somebody pretty. He does pretty well.
Okay.
Xavier's back at it. He's going to get us something for I think Alexander. He's going to finish first, and then Balsk, and that's the team right now. So everybody's working. Everybody's working. Who can be working?
Yeah, I was about to say everyone needs to.
I'm
getting a little scared with the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like as we get into the back half of this year or the back quarter of this year. Jesus.
I've always felt the same way, and I know it's not what either of you want to hear, but I've always felt like if we're a month late on the book because the artists weren't on time, I'm fine with it. If we're a month late on the book because the writing wasn't done on time, I would not be fine with it.
I'm not fine with the book being late at all.
Then that's
just me.
Yeah.
That's just me. I want to push as hard.
And I understand why.
And again,
I would never give up on it. I'm just saying.
If China explodes and there goes our printer, that's one thing. But
those are my feelings.
I know.
It's my opinion.
You're valid.
Thank you. Validate me.
So I think that I think that the pace of the art results has picked up as much as I've been like, hey, I'm going to actually email this person back today versus collecting 5 emails and then emailing everybody back at once, which seems efficient, but it's not. So if I keep on that and we can add 2, 3, 4, 5 new people, that would be my goal, to add like 5 people to this team, especially since we're going to part ways with Rock and maybe probably Saba. Then I think a goal of adding 5 people, at least 1 landscape, the rest characters.
I was about to say, I was figuring three characters, 1 landscape in the style that we're getting them already, and then 1 like sketchy landscape or building.
Yeah, we can get somebody else in the sort of Brandon style of like the sketchy stuff. I'll throw this out there. I don't know what my capacity is, but I will take on commissions. I will do a couple of characters or items or something.
Yeah, we're not paying you. But no.
$240
for a black and white bust. And also, you can eat me.
Yeah, $240 or a hand job, your choice.
Okay.
God,
See, now we're negotiating.
Money.
Wait, all right. You like make eye contact?
Yeah, I mean, all right.
No, we're gonna watch TV. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You mean we get to make eye contact?
That's what the $240.
Yeah, it's the intimacy. It's the
Speaking of big sums of money, Jameson, you've been laughing a lot in the last minute or two. Your teeth look really nice, so good job on dentist stuff.
Oh, thank you. I haven't done anything, but thank you. I think it's just
nice.
Have you been brushing?
I mean, no more or less than usual.
Such a suspicious answer.
Who sent you?
They're on to me. All right, let's talk about modules real quick, then I gotta go.
Okay. I'm gonna combine 2 topics really quickly because someone ate up all the time. So, okay. I'm in contact with several of the people that are getting modules done. I'm trying to make this as painless an affair as possible. I have write-ups from, I'd say, 3/4 of them. I'm still trying to get people like Jane and Brian to get back to me. I'm still waiting on a pitch from Casey. So I'm trying to get people to talk to me. I have scheduled almost everyone for a call on October 3rd.
Wow.
And I'm going to tackle them one by one, just get into a call. It's like, all right, boom.
Let's 3 sessions in a row. So
then I have 3 sessions in a row. So, like,
nice.
Fuck me. But, like, I'm trying to get this so that I don't know I'm going to need everybody's help. But first, I figured I can get everybody's pitches and we could start dealing with any problems that would come up. It's like, well, instead of them being a god, maybe they could be, just start working through shit like that. For the most part, everyone's been crazy reasonable and really nice. Like, everyone's got, like, no one went hog wild on anything, honestly. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of things. It's like, okay, well, maybe we could do this thing instead of this, but it's all very, very doable. Okay. I'll know more on the 3rd. Mm-hmm. That software, I think we could save a shitload of money.
Dude, that's sexy.
I could just do the artwork. Like, I feel confident enough. I
even like it in the black and white that it's in right now.
Yeah?
It gives me old Wizards of the Coast vibes, like first edition vibes, like.
Because again, this was blank when I started, and I haven't even added the notes for the dungeon and stuff. So I think I could do. I think I could do it. Yeah. It's time consuming, but totally doable. That was done in one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's perfect, and it saves us a shit ton of money, and yeah.
Yeah. So, a license would just have to be purchased to print it, but that's I think it's 320 euros, whatever that is in American dollars. It's almost fucking like it's probably like 370.
Yeah, I mean, that license to get the map software and do it ourselves versus paying a map maker to do that many maps.
Exactly.
So,
which honestly isn't even in the budget. Like,
it's not. Well, I mean, we had like $100 for each module,
person,
not counting
that's not enough
a cover and stuff like that.
No,
but this way,
the cover is separate.
The cover's separate.
I had a separate charge for the cover. Thank fucking God.
So I think this would allow people to get a couple of sketches of characters and stuff like that. If it's a new character, if it's something like that. Otherwise, we could reuse character artwork if they want to have serif in their module. Then it's like, boom, we got serif artwork. Let's go, and we can just do that. And these maps would essentially be free.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
Well, it'd be 400 and whatever divided by 13.
Yeah.
Says the budget person.
Other than that, it's going to be crunch. Like, I want to get done as much. That's why I'm picking at things like Scions. I got to work on drugs. I got to work on. There's a few big chunky things coming up that.
I was thinking the same. Like, once we're a little bit further into this week's stuff. Next week, I won't put it in the chat, but I'll probably start writing for the regions that I'm still missing just to have them ready to go when it is time to add them to the list.
Speaking of that, since we're in the lightning round right now, real quick, so adding all of the NPC descriptions into, consolidating those into a few files, huge help to my own anxiety. Oh my God, are we close to having so many of those done already?
Right.
Okay.
There are so many done.
I was a little
done by towns and cities. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have write-ups from the old towns and cities. Remember? I used to do full write-ups.
Oh my God, that's right. We put that in the closet. It's like we're gonna come back to that. Yeah. It's coming back.
It's coming back.
Oh
so
shit.
Here's the thing. So I mean, obviously, all that needs to be revised. But there's going to be a chunk of ones that have never been written, but putting it together with the ones that we have already written, plus the ones that we pulled out of the cities, is, I would say, probably 2/3 done with NPCs right now.
And some of them can definitely be linked. Because I think I would write. They weren't full write-ups. They were mostly full write-ups, and for a lot of characters, it's good. But I think Nathaniel has one that's he is the king. Brr. It's probably need more than that.
Yeah, right? some of them are going to need to be changed and updated and adjusted and stuff. But the skeleton of it. So here's what has me optimistic, despite the very real concerns I have about primarily art and modules. The regions we're ripping through right now. I'm really happy with how we're doing regions. If we can keep that up and finish that, and then to carry that momentum directly into the NPCs, which is 2/3 of the way done already.
Yeah, dude, I think
that's more than half the book.
Yeah.
I
think that we'll be able to do that. I think that when we're done with regions, we can do the NPCs and basically be okay, today is A through F, get them done.
Yeah.
That's this week.
That's the only other thing I wanted to make sure to mention. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all the cards I made in Trello. I'm going to delete those fucking things for the individual characters. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to go back and I'm going to make a card for the ones that need art. I'm going to say art for this guy, this guy, this guy, and have those there. And I'm going to say, and the chunks are going to, so A through F, that's a card.
Yes.
That moves down in one chunk. We do that entire document in one go, and for all of the documents of NPCs. And we do the same thing with the monsters and the demons and the cryptids. Do them in chunks. It's just we don't need to have it be this granular where
every single character needs to be on a separate thing, because a lot of them are only going to have a paragraph, like most of them.
Well, I mean, if we're putting, it's like, okay, something's got to give. We're putting 230, 260 NPCs in the book. They can't all have full page layouts. They just can't.
No, yeah. So I think it'll also help us looking at it in chunks like that. I think it'll help us keep in mind the size of that file when we're like, well, maybe this character needs one more paragraph, or maybe we can cut down a little bit more or something like that. I think the context will be there for the rest of the book, you know. So I'm going to fix the Trello. It's going to be a much smaller total amount of cards because I'm going to get rid of the individual listings for each character. It's not necessary. My only question to do with that is, are we going to have a stat sheet for every NPC, or is it just like the fighter type NPCs?
I was going to give a stat sheet for every NPC.
We talked about giving them base stats, like the 6.
Yeah, like, okay, there's no reason that, like, okay.
Like, Artemis doesn't need his hit points.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, the Artemis doesn't need the hit points and doesn't need to, like, it's like, here's this combat moves.
Right.
Because guess what?
When you say stat blocks, you mean the 6.
I think they should have stats, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, guys like Seraph, well, guess what? They're
Well, yeah, so
bit
I think, if you do, like, see, I think hit points, armor class, save bonuses, and the 6 stats. That's all you need.
That's it.
Yeah.
Unless they're like a major character and they need more than that.
Yeah.
But okay. All right. So
like smaller.
it'll be minimalistic.
All right. I don't quite know how to organize that. I don't know if I want to try to throw all those into a single file.
Well, I know what I got to do for that. It's just that's going to be, I don't know when that's going to happen. It'll be a week in October or whatever, when it's like, okay, this is NPC week, and every day I'll just plug in and I'll just do like A through F and fucking.
Yeah, I mean, let's definitely get the regions done first. But I just want to start like that's on deck, so I want to start making.
That's up next.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
Abridged. That's the word I kept trying to look for when I was doing this.
Abridged. Yeah.
Abridged NPC.
So my focus for the next week will be keeping the art team busy. Finding new artists, and I'm going to rip through all of my rounds of revision for all of the regions we're currently working on.
Okay.
Gotcha.
If there's spare time, I might start hitting into the stuff that's been written for new regions. That's a big if, though, because there's
a pretty big if, because we're ripping through stuff. But like I said, I'm going to start writing for those as well.
Yeah.
Also a big if, as long as notes are done and all of that.
Right.
I'm also going to do all this. This stuff.
Just that detail stuff.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I feel like I've got my week planned out. I feel like you guys have a good idea what you're doing. Yeah. Susan and Val have their work cut out for him. Jasper's going to be able to start laying out as soon as he's ready. I mean, I don't know how else. If you guys can find a spot where you can fit more work in, let me know. But
I've got look. I know.
He doesn't have a day off until next weekend. End of next weekend.
The end of maybe Monday. Of October sometime. Like, there's a DM seminar, there's an extended rest, 2 sessions over the weekend, and then Monday. Like, it just starts all over again. So, like, I don't know.
You got the Thursday, then a session, then you're a pony, which is like a session, and then another session. Jameson,
it's for charity, man.
Are you going to be there for ponies? Are you going to be there?
When is it? No.
I'm gonna be a Pegasus.
Okay.
Her name is Cherry Blossom.
Dude, I'm showing up.
Any of this means?
She's a Pegasus samurai. You should have raised girls.
I told Brian, it's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm showing up. I'm gonna be the best goddamn pony there's ever been. It's for charity.
If you had a daughter instead of a son, you know exactly what I was talking about.
I have a niece, but
ask her about ponies.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna.
You're fine. You didn't lose a bet, so like you're not
Yeah.
doing everything.
I still have to explain the various pony types
for this reason.
But it's the rush, man. It's the rush of sometimes winning.
All right.
That's my secret, Cap. I never win.
So.
Okay, so I got stuff in the evening for fucking every day till the day I die, but in the mornings I can work I'm going to finish Titan Shard Bunker. That's going to be... I just have to do map notes and the roleplay stuff. It smells like this. It looks like this. All that good stuff. That's our mini dungeon. That's done. Then it's moving on to Scions because that's a cold case for me. Like it's like I'm hot. I feel like I picked up a hot tip. Like it's now I'm back on it. So
yeah.
And then it's probably drugs, and those are the three big things I'm working on.
Drugs are the third on my list too.
Yeah, every day. Then it's drugs. So those are the three big things I'm working on currently. And modules are going to be in the background of that. But every minute I'm not doing that, it's notes. Whatever notes I'm getting on Discord.
Yep.
Okay.
And descriptions.
Right. Okay. I love you both. Bye.
Yeah, no, that's fine. All right.
Talk to you guys later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
This
Bye,
was
guys.
a good meeting. I'm glad we didn't skip it. It was 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't know how I thought we were going to skip this one. All right.
Bye.
Bye guys.
See you.